Konnichiwa Indigents, welcome to this video that gives you my first impressions of Deathloop. At the moment I've done just under 13 hours, I've unlocked 10 of 54 achievements, and I've done a full loop so far. Oh yeah, 4 deaths by the way, officially, give or take. And I think at this point now I've done the full loop, gone through all the major mechanics and so forth, I can give a first impressions idea of whether or not this will be something that you want to pick up or not. We have another video that tells you exactly what is Deathloop, which should pop up somewhere maybe, or will be at the end, and in the description and everywhere else. And we also have a video that tells you how to play Deathloop without human invasions. Don't know if I'm going to upload that or not, it might be obvious, it isn't a tutorial. But anyway, there's a bunch of Deathloop stuff, as well as the gameplay stuff as well, so check that out. Drop in the comments below as well if you have any thoughts or any questions or any ideas. What do you think of Deathloop? Do you enjoy it? Is it worth the money? Do you like the mechanics and the way it plays? Or are you more of a Dishonored kind of guy? Yeah, share, and let's start. We'll do the review with bad stuff first, and then we'll go into the good stuff so that we can finish off on a nice positive, and then I'll leave a score at the end for you to mull over and complain about. Okay, well, no, yeah, I know you won't complain. You guys are top people, so let's do it. Okay, so one of the issues I've noticed with Deathloop, and this is before the first patch has come up just recently, the AI has issues at times. Sometimes the AI just stands there getting popped, just shooting them in the head, they're not moving. They get stuck in a place, or they glide randomly into a position. I've seen that literally a dude just glide near the edge of a crevice and just jump into it and just die. Weird. Whoa, what's he doing? What the hell? That wasn't weird. Okay, that was weird. Really weird. Some weird dodgy AI stuff happens occasionally with this game. I also found so far that killing is the best option generally, and it's quicker. It really depends on if there's a lot of volume of enemies, but generally speaking, unless they're standing in the way of the loot, there is really no incentive otherwise to kill them or interact with them, because basically if they're not visionaries, their drops are going to become pretty much meh very quickly, and there's no XP for doing so, so you know, that might be an issue. Also, there's an invasion mechanic. I think it's going to be very divisive. It's interesting. It is something you can turn off in as far as whether it's a human being or AI. But having that in your single player experience is going to be an issue for some people. So be wary of that. You can turn it off, but it's worth noting, you know, that it's still going to only be, you're only switching it from humans to AI, and that's probably a better thing because some of the upgrades and unlocks you can get in the multiplayer mechanic is a little bit interesting. It can be a bit unbalanced, but anyway, that's another thing. It can also take a while to join the invasions themselves as Juliana. You can do the reverse and give people a bad day in their games if they opt in or forgot to turn it off. And some of the upgrades you get and stuff is interesting, but it can take a while to get in. And because they have this mechanic, it's also going to mess up some achievement hunters' day as far as 100% in the game, should the online component no longer be operating for whatever reason. And finally, for the bad stuff, this is also a game where you are expected to die and try things out in the same 4 core locations. And you'll have to want to do that. You'll have to find joy in things becoming easier, in getting upgraded gear, intel, opportunities, seeing what differences time of day makes, and you know, your actions keeping things interesting. If this isn't the case, or you want a more traditional linear story arc where you go from one location to the next location, spread across like maybe 10 different locations, like say Dishonored, this experience might not be for you. But enough of the negativity, let's talk about the good stuff. Now this is a twist on the Dishonored style of gameplay, really, and it's got many roguelike elements. So for instance, time of day changes what opportunities they are, where the enemies are placed, what activities they're doing, what opportunities are available to you, what actions are available to you, what items you can acquire, all these things, and trying to figure out how you can basically kill many birds with as few stones as possible is an interesting, and I think something that is adds to the fun of the game, and definitely adds to the difference of the game itself. You also have very crisp visuals. There's a touch of the arcane aesthetic in the game, as you'd expect. It's a very nice style, very kind of 70s, kind of, you know, groovy baby style there, sorry. And yeah, I'm digging the visual style. The controls, the movement plays really well, especially with a PlayStation 5 controller on the PC with that haptic feedback and resistance trigger features all in there. Everything but the speaker feature works with the PlayStation 5 controller on the PC. Although the trigger jamming feature is something that has pretty much been massively underused, because once you get good gear, nothing jams anymore, so it just kind of becomes like a normal trigger. But otherwise, vibration and everything is awesome. I also found it so far fun to explore and see the changes of your actions in time of day and how that affects everything. Getting intel and seeing what secrets are available to you. It's a fun mechanic. It adds a kind of a realness to it in a weird way. So that's kind of cool, especially kind of going in with new knowledge. Again, if you dig the rogue type elements, then you will dig that kind of thing. It's very cool music style, and the engineering of the music is really good at times. It cues in at perfect moments, and then it kind of shifts and goes all around different places, and sometimes it sounds kind of suspicious, like you're kind of sneaking around and checking things out and getting it, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, you're in action. It's so far been pretty good most of the time, and mixing in. Obviously, voice acting is on point. It is genuinely funny at times, and it feels natural for the most part, despite a lot of it being kind of dry wit. Despite the dire situation you're in where everyone is basically trying to murder you, they somehow managed to have it still be kind of playful and fun in between, which is pretty cool.
Finally! You're back! So, how much do you remember?
I think she's a pissed ex.
A little hazy.
What do you remember?
My name's Colt.
About me!
You want to kill me for some reason, and I already know some code, which I don't, and there's this
You
loop
wanna break the loop, right?
yeah, I think so.
Look, if you don't try to break the loop, I'm just going to kill you over and over again in increasingly violent ways until you do.
Fine, I'll break your loop, and whatever I did to piss you off, I'm sorry. Still there?
You never said that before.
We dated, didn't we?
Just go inside the library. You need to see this.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they must have dated her or something and she's pissed. Finally, the invasions mechanic. Now, even though I've spoken about it in a negative, the positive of it is that it can add quite a layer of unpredictability when it works and it's balanced. As I hit the mic with my thumb. It also forces you to decide whether you want to keep acquiring new loot, intel, or upgrade juice, or to get out before you lose it all. And aside from the potential achievement hunting, there's plenty. There's no penalty for There's no penalty for switching it to friends or AI only. So that's great for people that aren't too keen on having people they don't know or humans come in and messing up their day. Because yeah, I probably should put it in the bad, but the AI, sometimes the Juliana AI was pretty rough, so it's kind of almost easy mode. But you know, depends what you want to do. You got the options. It can be great when it's it can be great if you get past it and get through it. But otherwise, it might be a put off for some people. Okay, so we went through the good and the bad stuff in reverse order. And my score at the moment, it's his first impressions, is based on playing just under, again, it's under 13 hours, 10 achievements unlocked, 4 deaths, 3 parts, and going through a full loop, playing all of the core mechanics and then understanding what the rest is going to involve and so forth. And with that in mind, this score is based on that. My score so far for Deathloop, first impressions, is at 8.5 out of 10. And the reason being, at the moment, I'm not sure if it's going to be overall, once all is said and done, whether it's going to be too small in scope or to feel too repetitive, going over the same thing multiple times. Is it going to be as interesting as it is so far to unlock all of the things and get all the secrets and, you know, do all the stuff? Is it going to get dry, or is it going to still stay interesting as it has been so far as this whole ordeal is concerned? I guess only time will tell, if you'll kind of use the pun with the time continuum death looping thing. So yeah, if you enjoyed this first impressions review and you'd like a full review once I hopefully finish this thing, then leave a comment below and give your feedback on the review itself, and share your feedback on what you think of Deathloop itself as well, and check out some of the other videos around Deathloop, including what it is, if you want to know what it is. Yeah, and there's a whole bunch of other things on the channel, a whole bunch of cool things. Check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Pick one of the videos on the screen. Continue your journey of watching me wing it. Sayonara gozaimasu.